Alrighty, so let's get into this review. So we're going to start with this EURUSD right here. Let's talk about what we had cooking on this. So what we had on EURUSD, and this is on Wednesday, of course. And when I say Wednesday, I mean May the 8th, 2024, for any of you that are watching this in the future. That's what we're going to be talking about today. All right, so on EURUSD, we had this thing, and it came down into daily support right here. And we had a bounce off daily support. We have this old high right here, which is a very nice level of support, being that it's inside that imbalance, a sensitive area. We came down to that old high support right there. And you can see we're selling off, and this thing's in a 4-hour discount as well. You take your Fibonacci from that high to that low. You can see it's in a deep discount marketplace. See? So the thing is, we're in a deep discount marketplace, and it's testing higher time frame support in a discount. And what ends up happening here is this thing comes down. You see right here in London session, this is what we call what? This move low right here. What's that called? Well, that's called a Judas swing. As a Judas swing in London session, it comes down and it cleans out Asian session lows. Okay, remember, Asian session begins at 19. This is the absolute low, and then it ends at midnight New York. So we come down and we clean out Asian session lows right there. Boom, done with. So we clean out a huge liquidity pool, and at the same time, we test higher time frame daily support. Okay, and what happens? Boom, nice big push up, nice big strong close. You see, we come up, we get a really strong close above that short-term high right there, and we end up getting this fair value gap confirmation. All right, so what do we call this? Well, what we call that is a bullish shift in market structure. There's three things you want to see for a high probability shift in market structure. You want to see it take significant liquidity. You want to see that strong close. You want to see the fair value gap. What do you know? We got 3 for 3, right? So we get that strong shift. And what does it do next? It pulls back into a discount into New York session. And that's where I entered into a discount marketplace. And what I ended up targeting on this thing was this low-hanging objective, being the high of the impulse move. I took profits on the break above that level right there. Now on GBPUSD, on this one, this thing came down and it took out higher time frame sell side right here this morning, or yesterday morning. It came down and it took out that higher time frame level right here. So we got this thing in a higher time frame discount. If you take your Fibonacci from that high to that low, you can see it's in a deep discount marketplace. See that? It's well below that 50% level. So it's in a discount, taking out higher time frame sell side here. So what we saw happen here was, right after midnight into London session, this thing was selling off. So we have this liquidity right here. Asian session lows is cleaned out, and it continues to sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off. It comes all the way down to London session, and it comes down, and it takes that higher time frame sell side that I was just telling you about. Okay, so we sweep that huge liquidity pool, and this is where we're going to be watching out for a reaction, of course. So, do we get a reaction? We absolutely do. We get a lower time frame bull shift right here. We get the strong close above this high right here. It pulls back. Discount marketplace, and it ends up seeking that opposing buy setup above, as you can see. You got buy setup right there. You got buy setup right here. So I ended up shooting for this low-hanging objective, took out the buy setup liquidity right here. That's what I ended up shooting for. Again, that's a high probability shift, fellas. It takes out significant liquidity. It has a strong close above the short-term high. It has the fair value gap confirmation, and it seeks opposing buy side. Again, that's a reaction off of higher time frame support, higher time frame sell side. It's as simple as that. It's as simple and straightforward as that. It's just really clean play all around. Now in NZDUSD, this one ended up coming down. It's very similar to that of EURUSD from the daily chart. This came down into daily support right here, as you can see. Really nice level. It came down and it tested that first things first in Asian session, but of course, being that that's an Asian session, I didn't trust that was going to hold up. I figured it was just building liquidity right there so it could take it later on in London for the Judas swing. That's exactly what happened. It built in that liquidity, then it came down, took it out in London, and swept that low. And then after we swept that low, we tested that daily support. We ended up getting this bullish shift right here. So that is a shift in market structure. I was looking for this thing to come up, clean out this buy setup here. And I did end up bailing break even on this one because as per my rules, I cannot hold a 5-minute execution from London into New York session. Now, if it's a 15-minute or 1 hour, that's different. But as you can see, we ended up getting that shift and it just kind of went into consolidation. So you can see it just kind of went into consolidation and I just bailed a break even on that. Just, my overall thesis was correct on it, as you can see, but it was just taking too long. So now we had this USDCAD right here. So what we had on USDCAD was this thing came up and it was in a higher time frame premium this morning. So you can see it was just ramping up, going ballistic, right? Came up into the higher time frame imbalance. It's in the deep premium marketplace. And what we had on this thing was we had this lower time frame shift, which was right here. So it came up, it was making a new high of day into London session. It's already cleaned out previous day's highs. It's already cleaned out Asian session highs. And then we ended up getting that lower time frame bearish shift right here, you see? So you get the lower time frame bearish shift right there. And then we have this, let's zoom back out real quick, 15 minute. So I wanted to target that low right there. And I have a 10 pip rule. What do I mean by I have a 10 pip rule? Well, my 10 pip rule is I don't want anything less than 10 pips for a stop. So also what goes along with that is I can't have anything less than 10 pips for a profit target because I don't like going lower than a 1-to-1. Now, I did market into this play. So we'll go into that here in a second, but what we got this shift right here, it came down, just barely missed this low, and then it has this retracement. So if I want to shoot for this low, that's right there at that 50. Where does my entry need to be? It needs to be up at 60. So this thing has to come all the way up, right out these stops for me to get an entry to come up to the 60 level. And somebody may look at that and be like, but that makes no sense, Mike. Like, wouldn't that invalidate that structure since it's taking out the high? No, not exactly. Just because something takes out the high doesn't mean it invalidates the structure. Sometimes it's just running liquidity. You can have a stop run on a high and still respect that structure, and that was the case here. All right, and that's essentially what I'm anticipating with that. And of course, I have that 10 pip rule, right? Now, I did end up marketing into this, and I did get a little bit, just slightly less than 1-to-1 on this because I didn't quite get 60. Which isn't good. It's not good at all to do that. Sometimes I'll have limit orders in. Sometimes I'll market in. It really just depends on if I'm at my PC, I'll market in. If I'm doing something else like back testing or journaling, then I'll have a limit in. But in this case, I was around at my PC, marketed in, didn't get the best entry. But thesis was correct. Ended up selling off and ended up tagging out these lows down here, and I locked in gains. Now we got another play on this a little bit later. So into New York session, this thing ended up ramping back up. This thing ended up ramping back up right here, and we clean out these highs. So we end up cleaning out these highs right here. The box liquidity runs that into New York session. So after we run that level into New York session, of course, I'm looking for what now? I'm looking for a reaction off that. And I have this opposing sell side down here. So after we run out the buy side, we end up getting a lower time frame shift. Now keep in mind, this thing's it's still in a deep premium. It's still in a deep premium, as I just showed you on the 4-hour chart. But another key thing here is we have Asian session lows still intact down below. So Asian session begins at 19. So look, all the way down here, that sell side liquidity is still residing there. So that's able to serve as a draw. Okay. And again, it's in a deep premium on the 4-hour. You got Asian session lows down below. It's already taking out previous day's highs, Asian session highs. Now you get this new run up into New York session, taking out further buy side with not just like a little shift, like that's a very big shift. That's an extremely explosive shift to the downside. It gets that shift right there, fair value gap confirmation, strong close, as you can see. And I entered, as soon as this thing confirms right there, I marketed in. Then somebody may be like, but wait, what about premium? If I'm executing on the 5-minute chart and I already got the proper risk reward to my target, I don't need to wait for a pullback. I'm good to go into candle close. The premium and discount is for 15-minute and 1 hour for me. Yes, sometimes I'll wait for the premium or discount on the 5-minute if I need a deeper retracement. It really depends on what my target is, okay? But in this case, as you can see, it's already valid. Like it's literally already valid for that. So that means I'm able to shoot for that level and just go ahead and enter market in on it. So ends up coming down, cleans it out, and you could just see smooth like butter. See that thing? Just a super big move lower. So, and do I care about leaving money on the table? No, I don't give a solitary shit about leaving so much money on the table, right? Because I know there's going to be some people, it's like, but look at all this stuff you missed down here. You took profits that low right there, Michael. Look at all this stuff that you missed right here. I don't care. It's outside my plan. Anything outside my plan is noise, right? And when you have stuff like that happens, because that's a big issue that people have, it's just purely a hindsight issue. It's purely a hindsight issue, because guess what? If it took out that low and then ramped up, then we're not having that conversation. It's like, oh, I'm so glad I locked in. I followed my plan. I'm so glad I locked in those gains and just took profits. But, you start to see something like that happens, and then, people start to have that greed talking to them. And that's all it is. I think that about wraps it up, though. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hope you got immense value. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.